Las Vegas was founded as a city on May 15, 1905, when 110 acres of land, situated between Stewart Avenue on the north, Garcias Avenue to the south, Main Street to the west, and 5th Street, Las Vegas Boulevard, to the east, were auctioned off by the railroad company. The completion of the San Pedro, Los Angeles, and Salt Lake Railroad, linking Southern California with Salt Lake City, established Las Vegas as a railroad town. The availability of water made Las Vegas an ideal refueling point and rest stop. J.T. McWilliams laid out his original Las Vegas town site, now historic West Las Vegas, and what is now the west side of the railroad tracks. Hello everybody, I'm Jonathan Scott and welcome to On Air Education, a show dedicated to helping our teachers, parents, and students with both distance and blended learning. It quickly occurred to us when the pandemic hit, how can we expect our teachers to be able to teach using a 13-inch computer monitor instead of a live classroom situation? So our goal, we figured out that who would know better about engaging students than entertainers? They've been doing it for all of their careers. So our goal is to help our teachers, help our parents and students with both distance and blended learning. We also learned very quickly that teaching history is different than teaching science. Teaching math is different than teaching art, and teaching music is different than teaching science or English as a second language or special education. So each one of those disciplines is something that we've been addressing in our series. We'd like to thank Nevada State College for sponsoring us and of course Clark County Education Association. When we started this program, only 30% of Clark County, which is the 5th largest school district in the United States, only 30% had Wi-Fi when we started this program. Now it's closer to 10%, so we're very happy about that. So we've got a lot of show for you. We're going to talk about a lot of different things, but the main topic really is how to engage your students in a topic such as history. We've chosen history today, and we've got some great guests to talk about the history of Las Vegas, because that's where we are. So if I may, I'll introduce our first guest. Nelson Sardelli has been performing his unique brand of singing and stand-up comedy for almost 60 years. Starting at the Thunderbird Hotel, Nelson soon became an opening act for Judy Garland.
That was her last opening act here in town, yes.
You were? Well, how amazing.
Yeah, she used to tell that to everybody.
Nelson's comedy routine involved a cowboy playing with his gun, and those gunplay skills got him cast in a Western called The Professional, starring Lee Marvin, listen to this, Jack Palance, and Burt Lancaster.
Robert Ryan, Ralph Bellamy, and Claudia Cardinale.
Well, I was going to get
Oh, you're
between
gonna-
scenes. Nelson taught actress Claudia Cardinale
How to play with the guns.
how to play with his guns. Next, Nelson appeared with our friend Pia Zadora, who sends her love. I tried to get her to come today,
yes.
but she didn't have enough time
That
to
was
do
the
hair and
movie
makeup.
Fake Out
Fake Out.
with Dallas Savalas, and yes, great.
And it was a comedy called Fake Out.
Yeah.
In 1970, Nelson was cast in the classic film MYRA Breckinridge alongside the great Mae West.
They were running out of Italians, so they got it.
Please say hello to the president of the Fiore Non-Club Club and the man responsible for legalizing marinara,
Marinara
my friend Nelson
needed
Sardelli.
to be legalized. Yes, it's a pleasure to be here. When you called me, I said, I guess they ran out of good guests for the show. I'll make myself available.
No, you said you mean I have to shave and put on pants? That's what
No,
he said.
I-
That's what he said.
When you said you're going to talk about history, I say, well, at my age, I am historical for sure, or at least hysterical, one of the two. So
You're
we get it.
hysterical and historical, and we're going to get into it. We're going to have some
covered,
laughs. I
yeah.
promise you that, folks. Ruben De Silva is an educator at Rancho High School
Correct.
from Las Vegas, Nevada. He was born in Mumbai.
Mumbai.
Is that right?
Yes, that's correct. The old Bombay, but it's Mumbai now.
Yeah, but you're supposed Mumbai is the correct way to
Yes.
say it now. India, and immigrated to the United States at the age of 2. What do you remember from that?
I do.
Nothing.
I do remember a few things.
Yeah, from 2 years old?
Yeah, but I do remember.
Really?
I have some vague images, and I remember JFK Airport. That's
Oh, that's what you remember, the
yeah.
airport. Ruben received an associate's degree from the Community College of Southern Nevada. In 2006, he received his bachelor's degree in American history from UNLV in 2010. Ruben completed a master's degree in global affairs with a focus on religion and globalization from the University of Pennsylvania in 2011, and a second master's degree from Yale University in comparative religion and politics in 2013. Ruben's a frequent speaker and lecturer on topics ranging from history and politics to religion and philosophy. Ruben served in the U.S. Marine Corps, was deployed to Iraq in 2007. Ruben was awarded both the Purple Heart and the Navy Achievement Medal for his bravery in Iraq. Thank you for your service, sir.
You make me sound like such a nerd here compared to Mr.
No,
Nelson.
quite
movie
contrary.
star.
I was just gonna say he has such a wonderful contrast of guests.
Yeah.
Here you are, a certified professor, and here I am, a certified high grammar school dropout.
Ruben, you started a program. I didn't write it down. A bridge for helping kids get into Yale. I didn't write down.
Oh no, I didn't start that program, but I worked with the alumni schools committee here. So we do the interviews for kids who are applying to Yale, so on and so forth.
But there's a name of that program.
It's called the Alumni Schools Committee. It's an official program that Yale University.
Oh, I thought it had a
for.
catchier name.
No, that's all. That's what it is.
Yes, sir.
What's your first memory? You came to Vegas in 1965. What do you remember the first thing that you hit Las Vegas?
Well, I had a hearing. No, no, it
None of
was
us
just
are
one of
hearing
those
anything.
things. I came here in 1964 to visit Vegas, and at the time there was a gentleman called Jerry Schaefer. He was the Wonder Boy. He had shows all over.
Oh yeah.
And my manager, I'm talking about all people that passed away. My manager told him that I was an entertainer, so he got me from the audience and made me get up on the stage and do my shtick.
Yeah.
And he says, I'll call you back. I said, sure, right. So in 1965, he called me. And I came, and I remember arriving in Vegas. What impressed me the most is I arrived on a Thursday, and I have to open on a Monday, and all my arrangements were for one kind of orchestration, and they had to be cut down to something else. And I'm looking for place to live, arrangers, and it was wonderful. It was an afternoon show. Great.
So you started as a singer, but you quickly found out that comedy was the engagement. No,
I think like I'm not a great singer. I'm not a great comedian. I'm not a great dancer. I'm the best Nelson Sardelli that you ever put.
I've never met a better Nelson Sardelli.
Neither have I.
Neither of you.
Neither have I. No, so when I came to Vegas, I already had inserted comedy in my show.
Oh, you did?
Oh, I remember the first time I told if you have the minute, my first joke. I was appearing at Cliff Bell's in Detroit. Very fancy place. The owner was this kind of guy that that even his underwear is pressed with a, you know what I mean?
He had pleats in his
The
underwear.
pleats, yeah, beautiful. I mean, the right distance. And I remember one night I got carried away and I told my joke, and I knew I was going to kill them. But my English now was much worse than now.
Yeah.
So the punchline should be something about a canary, a bird.
Right.
And I said, canary.
Instead of canary.
And he died. He died the most treacherous death.
You heard crickets.
Oh, not only the boss came to me at the end of the show. He says, Nelson, from now on, just sing. But 15 years later, I'm singing at the Flamingo.
Right.
And he was in the audience. And he came to see my show, and he saw I was a guest of the Mills Brothers. And he came to me, he says, I am so glad you didn't follow my advice.
Yeah.
I hugged him. I said, you don't know what this means to you, because that night when you told me, don't tell jokes, I couldn't even find my way home. I was so devastated.
We're talking about engaging an audience and how to engage students. We're here with our guest, Nelson Sardelli, and history teacher, Ruben De Silva. My name is Jonathan Scott. We're going to take a very quick, short commercial message and come on back with more of On Air Education.
Whoever you are, you're one of us. Whatever you want, we'll get you there. If you're not like anyone else, you're just what we're looking for. It's time to enroll in your future. Nevada State College.
Welcome to the Great American Pub, a great place to hang out with your friends, watch a game, and enjoy some great pub food. Our kitchen is open 24/7 with our full menu. Try some of our signature dishes like lobster mac and cheese or clam chowder. Join us at the Great American Pub and enjoy happy hour specials. Grab a drink and enjoy great pub food from all over the country right here in Las Vegas. The Great American Pub with 2 great locations, 215 in Eastern and Flamingo in 215.
In a changing world, it's time to change how we look at college. That's why Nevada State College provides excellence with affordability, a campus with diversity, and programs that offer opportunity. Nevada State College. Be bold, be great, be state.
No pinching.
Beautiful one, you are the reason I come so far from Italy.
I could not stand it no more. Ever since I see your pictures, I hear your record, I am in love with you. Hundreds of women have thrown themselves at my feet, but I love only you. I am on fire for you.
Oh, I'll put your fire out.
Jonathan Scott with On Air Education. We're here with our guest, Nelson Sardelli, and history professor, if I could call you a professor.
I wish. You're promoting me.
Ruben De Silva. Yeah, I'm going to call you professor now.
Yeah.
Now, we're talking about history, and history is known to repeat itself. I have to ask you, how do you engage your students and make it interesting for the students in history, especially using distance learning?
Yeah, to be honest with you, it's been a tremendous challenge. This whole year has been just a wash in so many ways. But, I think I'm actually lucky. I think I have something that you can actually utilize in a much more engaging manner. The subject that I'm dealing with, social studies, history, civics, there's always some way that you can connect to children, I think, and teenagers. I teach high school. So, and there's always something in the news that seems to be a real avenue of connectivity with students. I mean, we started off this year with the pandemic and the race riots and so much to discuss, and the kids were actually engaged. When it came to those matters, what's more difficult oftentimes to teach, I think, is the more mundane stuff. Oh, now today we're going to talk about the Fourth Amendment, or or about the railroads in the West. And I mean, that stuff is interesting to me. It's interesting to a large segment of students, but there's a swath of students out there who are never going to be interested. So that's the challenge in trying to engage those students. And it was difficult a little bit this year with the online method, to be honest.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's why we're here, because we're here to help our teachers. And we were talking earlier, Nelson and I were talking about how when I was in school, history would teach us about wars.
Yeah.
And I didn't want to know about wars. I didn't want to know about World War I or World War II or the War of 1912, because I was in high school in 1968 to 72 when the Vietnam War was going on. The last thing I wanted to hear about was wars. But I had a history teacher that was very interesting. He would stand up on the desk, and wave his arms and say, your rights are important. And so he made it interesting. So I'm just wondering what tools you use.
And to be honest with you, that is exactly why the physicality of a classroom is important. I can't stand on a desk and be dramatic or act or have that sort of a connection with the students off of a computer. There's only so much that you can do with that.
Yes.
So it's difficult. You can try to be as lively as you can. You can try to implement like maybe some short videos, break up the lessons, so on and so forth. But that person-to-person connection is so important and fundamental, really, when it comes to education.
Who's the kind of student that you find interested in history?
They can be anybody, to be honest with you. I think every person understands history in a different way, and I try to implement that in my classroom. I said there's not one way of looking at a certain subject. There's 1,000 different ways, and you can bring your own voice to this discussion.
Even those who wrote did the same way, because they tell the story in different ways. I remember two things about learning, and I'm speaking now from a student point of view. I had two teachers that made a real mark in my life. One was my actually Latin teacher, José Cretella Jr., whom was a genius in law. He was a funny guy, and he was able to insert humor in everything, even when we're teaching Latin, play with the words and so forth. And then we had another teacher, history teacher, Rosendo Sampaio Garcia. He was the kind of guy that when he entered the classroom, you would hear the flies, because he instilled fear on you. So you're really
serious.
So it goes one stream to another. You know what I mean? And
so I thought that maybe an engagement tool for you might be the history of Las Vegas.
Yeah.
And that's why I thought that Nelson was here in 1965.
I came to Vegas on a Conestoga wagon. I know about Las Vegas.
No, but there's different engagement. Like our friend, you and I have a friend in common named Jay Bloom.
Yes.
And Jay is a historian about the mob.
Sure.
In 1965.
I don't know anything about the mafia. Just because my name ends in a vowel, we're going to leave it alone. Here, how can I help you?
But it was more prevalent in 1965 in the 70s that the mob was more visible, and not everybody, but people know about Bugsy Siegel and starting the Flamingo Hotel. Did you have any run-ins?
No, I was very lucky. I knew a bunch of people, but I had no run-ins with.
But I mean, in a bad way. I mean,
No,
you
no,
would
no.
see the guys.
Yes, no. Like I said, I knew everybody. I was lucky because my personality, I get along with people, and I don't get involved.
Well, you and I use the same comedy as an engagement tool.
Yeah. Oh,
And
yes.
Whether it's on the radio or live in person, we find that is a great common denominator. If you can make somebody laugh,
Yeah.
then you break down the barriers.
I think that humor is one of the greatest blessings any man can have. I have been in my life in serious troubles where humor was what broke the ice and got me out of problem, as well as when I needed help. The way I approached the thing, it made it funny, and the person felt like helping me because,
We have some wonderful archive pictures of you with various stars throughout the years, like Sammy Davis Jr.
Yeah.
Of course, Judy Garland. We mentioned. We found a picture of you and Judy Garland.
Bad Bone, yes.
Back then, I mean, how do you even compare the history of entertainment when Vegas was thriving those years and Frank Sinatra and everybody was...
Well, you see, I came to Vegas when 1965, and I believe that was the tail end of a great era. It was, the years when Sinatra came to town, the town vibrates. You know.
Or Elvis.
Like Elvis, yes, but I'm talking the Sinatras, the Dean Martin. I'm a little older than you are, and was just fantastic. And I had the pleasure of seeing the city grow and going. But then came Howard Hughes, and then it changed. That's why I say when the tail end of an era, because we went into another phase of Las Vegas.
We're going to talk about that change in a minute. We're here with Nelson Sardelli and history teacher
There we go.
at,
Don't get me in
at
trouble now.
Rancho High School, Ruben De Silva. My name's Jonathan Scott. You're watching On Air Education. We'll be right back after these messages.
Whoever you are, you're one of us. Whatever you want, we'll get you there. If you're not like anyone else, you're just what we're looking for. It's time to enroll in your future. Nevada State College.
Hello, my friends. Jonathan Scott here for Windows Plus to share some interesting new state-of-the-art developments in remodeling your windows and doors that'll save you big bucks on your power bill and change the look of your home. Vinyl windows and doors will have your air conditioner run quieter and more efficiently. Vinyl windows and doors will last you a lifetime and can save you lots of money. Visit our showroom at 5195 South Valley View, 3 blocks south of Tropicana. Call now and get 10% off our wholesale prices. Windows Plus, 702-450-2275.
In a changing world, it's time to change how we look at college. That's why Nevada State College provides excellence with affordability, a campus with diversity, and programs that offer opportunity. Nevada State College. Be bold, be great, be state.
Welcome back, Jonathan Scott with On Air Education, where entertainment meets education. Or maybe when entertainment meets education. And our guest is Nelson Sardelli, the great Nelson Sardelli, history teacher Ruben De Silva. So how are you dealing with the kids that are coming back?
That are or aren't?
Are there kids coming back?
Yeah, we do have some students coming back. We have a hybrid model that the school district has set up for high schools at least. But I'll be real with you, we haven't seen the numbers that we expected. On average, I see about 2, maybe 3. 3 is a lucky day if I have 3 students in the classroom.
3 students in the classroom.
Yeah, but they're sitting in the classroom. They're engaged through the rest of the class, still on a virtual sort of format. The vast majority of the students, the other 30, 40 students, are going to be at home.
So what part of history do you enjoy teaching about the most? I'm going to put you on the hot plate here.
My background, my undergraduate degree was in American history, so I love the history of this country. But I became very fascinated with what's being called a global history, meaning that how the histories of different peoples in different parts of the world are coming together to forming this globalized society that we're living in. And that process has become like one of the things I'm very interested in.
Well, I love it. And I saw you said globalization because this distance learning and this hybrid learning is not just in the United States.
Yeah.
This is a global concern. So we want to help teachers all over the world with what we're offering and what our entertainers can offer as far as engagement tools. You know that we come from a funny place, and that's our engagement tool. And you may have others. And, I guess I'm asking what works for you.
what works for me in the end, I think first and foremost, the students got to know that you care about them. You have to express that to them. Hey, like I care about you. I love you. I want to see you do well. And be on them. Build those relationships. Even though you're not in the physical, environment, you can still build a relationship with an individual, person to person, through the virtual format. And then the other thing that works is I think you just got to be on top of things. You have to have some sort of lesson plan, and then you have to execute that on a daily basis, going through long stems of time where you're not really giving them new information or keeping them engaged. That's when you start seeing, I think, a drop off in engagement.
We've had several.
You got to come with it. You got to come with it.
Well, teachers have said the same, and we've heard it from a lot of things. A lot of teachers have said the same thing, that you have to show the students that you care.
Yeah.
That's the number one, foremost, that you care. You really care about them learning what you're.
Yeah, and you have to express. You have to say it. I think instead of just they'll know I care because I'm here every day, or because I'm grading their papers and writing little notes. No, you have to tell them this. I care about you. I want to see you do well. I'm here for you. I love you. Say it, to your students, and I think that goes a long ways.
Now, in constant contact that we are with CCEA and Nevada State College, we think that distance learning and blended learning is going to be here for a while.
Yeah.
You tend to agree with that?
I think even today we had a staff meeting at Rancho. I was a little late because of that. We had it got pushed back, and they said that a good 200 families at our school have opted to be in a fully distant sort of learning format next year, which is a lot of families who want to participate in that. So it seems to be, from just off of this, the early data that's coming in, some of the initial receptions from parents, that we may be looking at this as something that's here to stay in some way.
So as the 5th largest school district in the United States, how important, how relevant do you find Las Vegas to be?
I think, just the fact that we are an organization that large, we are very relevant. I think that there's a lot of school districts who look to us to set the standard. New York is bigger than us. A few other, San Diego. There's a district in Florida. But other than that, we are an anomaly. You don't have school districts that have 320,000 students, as part of their real constituency. They're usually broken down into smaller arenas, and then you have more localized learning. But on the same token, I think we're doing some excellent work in terms of creating a large administrative sort of district that can address things like equity, that can address things like finding those students who aren't going between the cracks, so on and so forth, because we have the resources of a larger community to help out in those matters. Now, if you can only pay teachers a little bit better, that's all I'd say.
And police officers.
Yeah, and police, yes.
Emphasis on education is what we cannot lose our focus. In America, we need emphasis on education in any possible way we can. I'm very knowledgeable about Las Vegas. We are the 28th populated city in the United States of America, even though we were settled in 1905 and then chartered in 13. John C. Fremont came to Las Vegas in 1844.
1840s, yes.
John,
and invented the canopy?
Not only that, he came in and didn't stay because the Paiute and the Anasazi would not comp him for that night. And he says, if I cannot be comped, I'm not going to stay.
If I'm not being comped.
Because that's where the comp mentality
comes from. Yeah.
If you could give one bit of advice to our teachers as far as engaging their students, what would you say?
Well, it's like the professor here has it, personal contact. Sometimes like an entertainer, you're singing, there's few people on the front row, but there's the guys that are sitting there. So when you project, you must make sure that the guy on the last row feels the same touch, if I may call it, as the guy in the front row. So you really have to engage, and it's, of course, I'm pushing the envelope here because that sometimes is a gift from God that you have that.
You have that talent.
But if you engage them and, and show interest, whatever they have to say, even how wrong.
You have that talent.
Well, I was blessed with the grace of God that when I went to study opera, I didn't stick with it because it was too militaristic. In opera, there is no room for levity. Either you learn what you're supposed to, or you're going to hold a spear in the background for the rest of your life. And I didn't even have a spear. But So I was lucky that God gave me this, and you know,
Amen.
and I get along.
I never heard you sing opera.
Well, I actually don't want to.
And I'm not going to ask you to right now. One bit of advice to our parents and students that are watching right now.
Well, you know, the bit of advice that I would have is just you know, work with us. You know, there's a lot of good people in education, teachers, administrators, staff, faculty, even folks in the community who really want to see our children do well. And it's been tough, and we still have a summer to get through. This pandemic is still going on in the world. You know, we're opening up a little bit here and there, but we have to realize
India
that
was the worst.
India is really bad right now. That's where my family is from. It's extremely bad. It's a human tragedy taking place there right now. So until we're out of this mess, we have to, you know, I think, stay on our toes. I know there's a lot of fear and concern out there too amongst parents. I mean, the fact that 200 families at our school have opted not to send their children to school next year is indicative of this. But just know that there are good people working on this, and we have the best interests of our children, of our students in mind.
And you're one of them. I want to thank you.
Yeah, I love my
Ruben
kids.
De Silva from Rancho High School, my friend, good friend.
Thank you.
The Godfather, Nelson
The
Sardelli.
Godfather.
I want to thank our associate producer, Carol Adams-Sitar, and Richard Giacovino, and everybody here at Giacovino and More, the little studio. And shout out to all the teachers and the parents that are out there. We know that you guys are trying. And most importantly, stay safe, stay happy, eat well, and party hard, my friends. Jonathan Scott, thank you for tuning in. If you have any questions, by the way, you can send us an email at news1lasvegas@gmail.com. Thanks for tuning in. See you, everybody.
Whoever you are, you're one of us. Whatever you want, we'll get you there. If you're not like anyone else, you're just what we're looking for. It's time to enroll in your future. Nevada State College.
Hello, my friends. Jonathan Scott here for Windows Plus to share some interesting new state-of-the-art developments in remodeling your windows and doors that'll save you big bucks on your power bill and change the look of your home. Vinyl windows and doors will have your air conditioner run quieter and more efficiently. Vinyl windows and doors will last you a lifetime and can save you lots of money. Visit our showroom at 5195 South Valley View, 3 blocks south of Tropicana. Call now and get 10% off our wholesale prices. Windows Plus, 702-450-2275.
Welcome to the Great American Pub, a great place to hang out with your friends, watch a game, and enjoy some great pub food. Our kitchen is open 24/7 with our full menu. Try some of our signature dishes like lobster mac and cheese or clam chowder. Join us at the Great American Pub and enjoy happy hour specials. Grab a drink and enjoy great pub food from all over the country right here in Las Vegas. The Great American Pub with 2 great locations, 215 in Eastern and Flamingo in 215.
In a changing world, it's time to change how we look at college. That's why Nevada State College provides excellence with affordability, a campus with diversity, and programs that offer opportunity. Nevada State College. Be bold, be great, be state.